Dale's shop this morning working on chair parts for the 2016 fair. We'll be working on rear aprons. We're going to drill 2 holes in each end of it in this 2-bit or twin bit horizontal boring machine. We set the depths of these cuts with this stop here that we set with a hex key, and we have setup blocks that allow us to position this stop precisely where we want it for the depth that we want in these aprons. So let's get started. Well, for 50 chairs, we need 50 of these rear aprons, but we're actually going to do 60 because typically Bill and I find sometimes we screw something up, we need an extra one. So we're going to do 60 of these. Bill Thompson's one of our masters. You've probably worked with him in the shop at the fair. He's going to be branding these rear aprons with a branding iron that we have in a drill press that we use as an arbor. Now that we've adjusted the stop on the boring machine to bore a deeper hole, we're going to be using it to cut 2 holes in the left front legs. Looks like that's a keeper. So we only got 59 more to do now.
Okay, our next operation after we've drilled the 2 dowel holes is to put a mortise 90 degrees from the dowel holes. So we take our piece, and in our horizontal multi-axis routing machine, we put the piece in the jig, clamp it down, and then I'm going to drill a hole here, push it all the way to the bottom, pull it out, go to the back, push it all the way to the bottom. And with my left hand, I'm going to just keep routing back and forth until I bottom the whole mortise. And we take it out of the jig, and we test the fit, and if it's good, put it in our pile and go on to the next one.
Now that Bill has the mortise cut in the left front leg, we're going to drill another hole in that leg. This will accept the front stretcher. It's 5 1/4 inches down from the top, centered in the front leg. Now let's see what that'll look like here. Here's the front stretcher. The front apron, and the side stretcher. So we've almost got this front leg piece finished. We have one more hole to drill that we'll do with a different setup. We're going to be drilling holes in the side stretchers with the model R825 double spindle horizontal borer. We're going to be drilling those holes in different depths. In the rear, we're going to drill the hole a little deeper because we cut off a portion of that to match the intersection with the rear leg, and we cut that off at an angle at the fair. We will basically bore the first hole, and I have the stop set so that I get the depth that I want on that forward hole. I'll then turn the stretcher over, place this 1/4 inch spacer in the rear. That will move the stretcher into the bit about a 1/4 inch deeper. Then I can drill that hole a little deeper. So let's get going. We'll drill the hole in the front first. Now what we have is we have in the front a protrusion of about 3/4 of an inch. I'm sorry, in the back about 3/4 of an inch. We'll cut off about a 1/4 of an inch. That'll leave about an inch of that dowel showing, and then in the front we have about an inch of dowel showing. Today we're going to be cutting a tenon on the JDS multi-router that will match the mortise that we cut on the front leg with the same machine in a different setup before. And then this tenon basically will fit into that mortise. The way this works is the machine has a stylus that engages with a template that will guide the path of this router around the wood and cut the tenon in it. So we're going to make sure that we have the face up marked so that when we cut the other tenon, it will be a little bit longer for the rear leg, that we put it on the jig in the same orientation so that we have it at precisely the same elevation that we have the front tenon. Sometimes it's switching. In preparation for the rear tenon, I've marked a line here 1 inch down. It'll give me basically a 1 inch tenon. I have a 3/4 inch on the front. What's important is that I have exactly 8 inches between the shoulders of these two tenons. So I'm going to make a test cut. I'm going to check and make sure that's 8 inches. I will do that by adjusting the depth of the router bit here, where the end of the bit basically is just kissing that line that I've marked. I'll take a test cut, I'll kind of sneak up on it. It won't quite be there. I'll adjust the depth just a little more just to take off that line and have 8 inches between shoulders. You just take off a bit more. Perfect. Notice I have the face up, so I'll have the elevation the same as on the front tenon. have a side stretcher. If you notice, this elevation is the same. It's not quite centered, but basically this tenon is level with this tenon. And that's what's important. As you can see, before the fair starts, there's a lot of pre-production work that goes on making these parts, or these part kits, getting them ready for the fair. And we can use a lot of volunteer help in this effort as well.